The Indian stock market has been in a bit of a rough patch lately, and one of the biggest talking points? Foreign investor outflows. Now, some are pointing fingers at India's capital gains tax, saying it's one of the key reasons behind these heavy outflows. At Business Standard's Manthan Summit, Singapore-based Helios Capital's founder and CIO, Samir Arora, made a bold claim. He said 199 out of 200 countries do not tax foreign investors in stock markets, and that India is making a big mistake by doing so.
Biggest mistake they have made, and the biggest turning around of sentiment, not just sentiment, reality, is that they have to accept that the capital gains tax in India, particularly for foreign investors, is 100% wrong. And no country, if any of these guys, some of them are based in US also, but when they invest in US market, there is no tax. I live in Singapore, I invest in US, my fund invests in US, no tax. When you invest in India, these foreigners, India takes 20% or 15% tax, and it cannot be recovered.
Sounds alarming, right? But is it really true? Do most countries completely exempt foreign investors from capital gains tax? Well, not exactly. Reports tell a very different story. According to PwC data, many countries including Brazil, Mexico, Saudi Arabia and Uzbekistan actually impose capital gain taxes of 20% or more on non-resident corporate investors. And in some cases, it goes as high as 35%. What about India? Well, in India, the capital gains tax rate is 12.5% on long-term gains and 20% on short-term gains, plus additional surcharges and cess. And let's not forget, tax treaties can sometimes lower the final burden for foreign investors. But despite all this, investors are pulling out. This financial year alone, foreign investors have withdrawn a massive 1.39 trillion rupees, almost hitting the record of 1.4 trillion rupees in FY22. And just since January, 1.29 trillion rupees has already left the market. So what's really happening here? Is India's tax policy driving foreign investors away, or are bigger global factors at play? That's the big debate, and we'll break it down for you right here. Stay tuned.